Anguish fills the air outside a primary school in central Kenya as parents wait for news on the fate of their children. No amount of counseling can put them at ease.
We need to know the truth, however bad it is. We want to know who's alive and who's not. They're not telling us anything.
A fire tore through the Hillside Academy boarding school, killing boys who were sleeping. Police said the average age of the victims was around 9. Many are missing.
They have been telling us to wait and wait since last night, 10 p.m. till now. We don't know what is going on. They keep saying they are still investigating. Let them tell us if our children are dead.
Kenya's government says the dorm was overcrowded in violation of safety standards. Police say some bodies have been burnt beyond recognition.
We saw several children in there that had been burnt. I was just lucky to save one of them, but I heard that he later died. It was very troubling and a sad tragedy.
Kenya's president has promised a thorough investigation of the cause as teams search for students still unaccounted for.
We are calling upon the various organs that are here on the ground to at least try and address the situation that we are in, so that at least the tension that is building amongst us can release.
School tragedies are not uncommon for Kenya. In 2012, 8 girls were killed in a school fire sparked by a suspected electrical fault. In 2017, 10 students were killed in a high school arson attack in Nairobi. And in 2019, 7 children were killed when the structure of a primary school collapsed in the capital. While investigations from authorities often take a long time to complete, for these parents, time is at a standstill while they wait to find out what happened to their children. Bedad Mahichi, Al Jazeera.
Yeah, family, man. Shalom, everybody. I just wanted to come bring this story because it's a lot. A couple things I want to talk about, and we've been talking about global news on here for a while. Again, it's our Nus Babal travel platform, and part of the traveling is knowing where you're going. You see what I'm saying? So that's why we here in East Africa. I want to just again bring the news, global news, keep track of what's happening in the United States. Again, we have a particular bias for the scriptures, and we know that it's going to be wars, rumors of wars. So we got to keep track of all these things. The world wars happening in different countries, all is very relevant conversation because we need to know what to flee to, what not to flee to, right? But the worst thing to do is to jump from the frying pan literally into the fire, right? So we've been talking about global news. We in Africa. We've been actually covering a lot of what's happening in West Africa, with Sahel region, Burkina Faso, et cetera, et cetera. But when I saw this story about this fire in Kenya, I wanted to talk about it because it's very alarming. And it's something that, to be honest, East Africa, it's something we don't see a lot. It don't happen too often, right? It's not something that's happening every other week or every month, these school fires. They mentioned it happened a couple times in Kenya, though. It's a couple years ago. It's not the first time, but it's just certain things it made me think about with the kids, the school system. What I want to talk about, they mentioned that the schools may have been overcrowded. The classrooms may have been overcrowded. So that's one vantage point. And that's also why I was saying I wanted to talk about it, homeschooling, why we homeschool, Hebrew culture. We're going to talk about a couple things, but really I wanted to fact check this first. You know what I'm saying? Is this true what happened in Kenya? So I did some research. We're going to look at a couple of the other sources, right? So that's what we had for so far. Shalom to everybody that's been watching. Shalom, welcome back, everybody. We're here to discuss these recent events that happened in Kenya. As you can see, it's a fire that happened. So, again, what happened? What's the narrative of the story? We're talking about the news. They say the place could have been overcrowded. They had too many kids there. But still, why would the fire break out? If you see how the house is constructed here, it's concrete walls. So it's not like it's easy for a fire to spread from one room to the next. But I don't know, it may have been a wooden house or a mud house. So who knows? But it was very alarming. So I wanted to talk about this. So yeah, it wasn't overcrowded. We don't know, but the fire seems suspicious. But we know so far it's been at least 20 children passed away. At first they were saying 19, but we're gonna look at the official report right now. The government just put out a statement. So yeah, let's get the news update and talk about it. So just if you don't know, I'm For Yahuah, born and raised in Miami, Florida, you know, Babylon, the United States of America. Been living this lifestyle, Hebrew walk of life for the past 10 years plus, since 2011. So got a lot of experience as far as traveling abroad, living and investing in different countries, multiple different countries, different continents, from South America to different places in Africa. And so we also have a company and a service here that we provide for that assists travelers. You know, we provide repatriation services for the diaspora, consultations, business setup here in Tanzania, et cetera, et cetera. So if you need any of them services, you're looking to travel, Tanzania, a great place, Caribou, safaris, Zanzibar, and a great business environment. But today we're talking about this news right now. So let me share my screen and let's talk about what's happening right now. Let me direct your attention to X. And X is good. Like you say, sometimes we get a lot of news from YouTube. That's cool. But we definitely got to do some journalistic due diligence, get some other sources, make sure it's confirmed. And there's no better way to confirm it right here. We got spokesperson for the government of Kenya, which, again, this happened 2 days ago, but they just released this statement yesterday. So this is definitely new news. The story continuing to develop right now. Again, update by the government spokesperson, Honorable Senator Dr. Isaac Muwara, CBS, the fire incidents at Hillside and in the Russia Academy, Nyeri, and its little girls' school. So Monday, September 9th. So listen, again, Executive Office of the President. It's a press release. It says update by the government spokesperson. The tragic loss of 21 children. So just put it in perspective, you guys, 21 children passed. And that's another reason why I wanted to bring this up, because even there was a school shooting we just posted about in the United States, which was a big deal, and it's a red flag. You know, maybe a false flag, I don't know, but it's definitely a red flag, something we want to talk about and bring on the global news platform. But in this incident in East Africa, actually more children passed away than in that incident. So definitely on a global scale, just as important of an incident, these lives over here just as important and very tragic too. And that's what I'm gonna talk about. So anyway, 21 children, right? So the tragic loss of 21 children in the fire at Hillside Academy Boys Dormitory is a catastrophe beyond imagination. 2 of the boys died while receiving treatment in the hospital, and the bodies of the 19 others were recovered from the charred dormitory. Out of the 330 pupils in the school's boarding facility, 166 girls, 164 boys. All the girls have returned home safely with their parents. And all the boys have been accounted for. However, the parents of the 19 deceased boys have not yet identified their children. Autopsies and further procedures will be carried out at the Neuromu Level 4 hospital to assist with identification. During this process, the families will also receive mental health and psychosocial support. The government offers its deepest condolences to the families grieving the loss of their loved ones, to the children receiving medical care for their injuries, and to those who witnessed the tragedy and now carry emotional scars. We extend our heartfelt sympathy and wish them a full and speedy recovery. So yeah, there you have it, family. Definitely all facts. This happened. This took place. And like I say, when I first saw it, I wanted to report on it immediately. That was 2 days ago. It was like Shabbat. It happened over the weekend. And I just want to talk about it because I'm in East Africa. It's in my backyard. It's not coming. I've seen and been to a lot of schools here in East Africa. My kids have been in school. I've seen, you know, and it's a couple different things they do here a little bit different. As far as the customs, a lot more children and parents prefer to send their kids to boarding schools. Kids stay in the school 24/7, day and night. So some parents have some freedom, whether that's for work or whatever it may be. You know, they living abroad, or parents might be living here in Tanzania, but they send their kids to boarding school in South Africa or whatever, different African country. Boarding school is very popular, so kids be in school all day sometimes, and it's definitely different from how we was raised, but it's a different culture here as well. But even with that said, sometimes the schools are, again, trying to turn a profit, maybe cutting corners certain places. Usually maybe with the food, with the rations, with the meal, whatever, the paint on the building, some stuff. But how they were saying this, the place may have been overcrowded, over 100 and something boys, and I guess a dormitory that wasn't too big. It wasn't the biggest, right? Maybe they had different rooms, so many in each room, but maybe it was overcrowded. Who knows? But it's still odd. Like, how could this fire break out? How could all these, the walls usually concrete, like how fires spread like that and kill all these people, and they were sleeping. Nobody woke up before it started. During the fire, before it got too bad, nobody was able to get out. It just seemed a little bit odd, but that was some things that I was just looking at that I want to talk about and just share. That's part of the reason. Again, my children was going to school here, but we were homeschooling when we first started, and we decided to continue homeschooling just because the level our kids at and the pace that they were going at is like they was getting more attention at home, and basically we able to just get them a how can I say it, a more in-depth, varied curriculum. And in the Swahili school, it's like they just had them like copying off the board, like just really not really much instruction, but just writing, doing a lot of handwriting. Kids complaining, they do got a different culture here. Like I said, they discipline the kids, they beat the kids. That's something you can have a talk with the teacher about at some schools, but most schools, disciplinary actions is taking place. So it's a lot of things that's kind of different than how we're accustomed to doing. Even the speed of learning, just the pace in which your child might be at compared to the other kids, and you might want them to be on a faster pace and not have to like slow down their pace of learning for the teacher or for the rest of the class. So it's a lot of issues with the school system here. It's a lot of work to be done, but this is definitely, sad to see and hear about, and definitely step in the wrong direction. And it's something we gotta try to pay attention to. Hopefully they're addressing whatever the root cause of this happening in Kenya, because Africa and East Africa specifically got a special near and dear place in my heart. Very peaceful place, beautiful environment, great economies. It's just great. It's the best part of Africa, in my opinion. Best part of Africa. And you're gonna hear me talk about that a lot. We talk about going on safari. I came to Africa from Miami, Tanzania. East Africa remind me a lot of South Florida, the islands, Zanzibar, Tanzania, mainland. It's a lot to offer, but South Africa, it ain't the same. You know what I'm saying? It's East Africa. West Africa is not the same as East. North Africa, obviously, Algeria, Egypt, totally different demographic than here in East Africa, which is why it's so unique. But it's happening. It's like we gotta do better, and it's just tragic to see and hear and read about. And so this other article I was checking out as well, just cross-checking it, confirming these things. Again, fire kills sleeping boys at Kenyan boarding school. So this was, like I say, a boarding school. So this one of the places was like, not to say kids neglected or parents take their kids there and leave them there. They all pay good money to go to these schools, and boarding it costs a little bit more than day school. So these parents, that's like pretty well to do off, because if you don't have money in Africa, your kids got to go to the government school, which is like the free school. That's the day school. It's not boarding, and boarding always a little bit more. But again, just seeing the schools, you could just imagine just how it ain't got the most resources, and then the kids got to be there all day, all night. Sometimes they go out trips and stuff, here and there, but it's just that who knows what happened. It's just very mysterious. It is very mysterious, and I want to know what you guys think. Definitely, I know since I've been reporting on Africa and West Africa, I've had a lot of support from my Diaspora family, whether that's Africans abroad, Africans in different countries here, and a very knowledgeable base of people, and one that I respect and listen to a lot. So, and been interacting with a lot. So I was just wondering, what you guys think about what happened. So let's read a little bit more, and then I'm gonna just close it out. So at least 18 boys, and that's the thing. They were saying 18, 19 at first. We just read the recent article posted by the government. It's 21 as of now. A couple of them still passed away. So that's very unfortunate. Definitely prayers up for the family. At least 18 boys have been killed, and 27 more were taken to the hospital after a fire raged through the dormitory of a boarding school in central Kenya in the early hours of Friday. Kenya's Vice President Rangithi Garucha gave a toll at the scene at the hillside, and they reached a school, a primary school, at the time they reached where fire broke out. About midnight, engulfing rooms where there were more than 150 children sleeping. And that's all he's saying. It's not really giving us too much more, but letting us know it happened in the middle of the night. The kids were sleeping. So it's so sad. He said a further 70 children remain unaccounted for, which is crazy. I heard that in the other article as well. 70 children in the first video. Although he added that some may have been taken home by parents in the night. So very interesting. Check out this little video right quick and we'll wrap this up. Really trying to see if we could see like the visual how this what's up with the fire.
Tumepoteza watoto katika moto ambao uliteketeza bweni moja ambao lilikuwa na watoto wetu hapa. Watoto wengi waliweza kuruka na kupata usalama, lakini hatujui ni wangapi haswa walifanikiwa. Habari tulizo nazo ni kwamba kuna wengine tayari tumeanza kupokea habari wako kwa majirani na watu wa heri njema ambao waliwapokea hao watoto. Serikali imetoa imizo kwa mtu yeyote ambaye anahifadhi mtoto wote, yeyote ule wa hii shule amlete hapa kwa mikono ya maafisa wa serikali walio hapa ili apate usaidizi.
Right. So, we got the facts of it. I just want to again bring this story to you guys, talk about it a little bit right quick, and just share my experiences. And the whole point is ultimately our kids was in school. We got 5 children, now 6, but literally 5 of them, 4 of them, the oldest 4 was in school. And our experience and our thought was that from what the kids told us, it's just that they didn't like it that much. Obviously, school, nobody like going to school. You got to get disciplined. You got to write. You got to do schoolwork. But besides that, it's just the conditions, just what the kid eating at lunch, how do they feed them? Do they get enough? They hungry? You got to give them extra food to take to school. And that was just in the day school. That's when they come home at the end of the day. But I've heard also experiences from kids that have been in boarding schools, how, it's just so, like they got to fight for everything. You know what I'm saying? Or it's different levels too. I don't want to say like that's every school, every boarding school, because you got some more higher class ones. And that's the thing. In Africa, you got to pay to go to school. Everything is like basically a class system. It matters how much wealth you have. Like if you go to the best schools, then obviously some of the conditions better. And I'm pretty sure that's basically what my point is. I'm pretty sure in some of the better schools, this wouldn't happen. But some of the more budget-friendly schools, you do have a risk of incidents like this happening. And the kids are the future, and we got to protect our kids at all costs. So, yeah, man, that's what having a community about. That's why, again, doing the homeschool and just continue to create our curriculum about, Bible-based homeschooling, something we're still working on. But that's the whole point why we want to develop our own community amongst ourselves. And not amongst ourselves, but as believers, we want to stick together and pretty much try to have a community so we can have standards in our community. We don't want to cut in the corner. We don't want to sacrifice the children. We don't want to, put the children in harm's way because of lack. You know what I'm saying? Because we're not able to get meet the safety requirements and meet the standard. So that's the point, you know what I'm saying? We just try to do better. So we just reporting this news, talking about it again. Our instances, it's just my experience. Kids prefer the homeschooling. It's a lot of issues with school here, but again, it's about picking the right school. That's why, when you consider moving, you want to consult with people. You want to try to get advice from the people around and the neighborhoods. Do your due diligence, your research, and that's why that's a big deal. A lot of these things can be avoided, and that's the bottom line. There's always options, but it's all about seeking wise counsel, getting the proper perspective, and then making a decision with the information at hand. So it's been your brother For Yahuah coming to just report this news, give you guys an update on this the unfortunate situation with the kids that got killed in Kenya, or not killed, but that had got with the fire, the situation with the fire in Kenya. Very unfortunate situation, but ask that you guys If you made this far, like the video, comment, let us know what you think about the situation. I know there may be some people out there listen that may have more information, may be closer to the situation, can tell us exactly what happened. If so, that's what we're looking for. Share your thoughts on what happened, and subscribe for more content, global news, travel related content. You already know, expatriation assistance. That's what we do. We're here to help, and we're here reporting live from East Africa. It's your brother For Yahuah, Nus Babal. To the next video, family. Shalom, shalom.